How to life coach in 20 minutes or less. In this tutorial, I'll show you the exact process that we teach our life coaches, our Enneagram coaches, executive coaches, and business coaches. It is a 3-step scaffolding that you can use to coach any meeting or conversation at professional master levels. This is an InnerLifeSkills Master Coach tutorial for master coaches. Step 1. If you're doing espresso style coaching and only have 20 minutes, you want to compress step 1 into a 2 to 5 minute experience. If you have the luxury of 60 minutes or 90 minutes for your session, you of course could extend this step, but still you want to save the majority of your time for step 2, which we'll get to next, where most of the coaching happens. The first step of the 3-step InnerLifeSkills methodology is called contracting. Now, before you think that this has anything to do with legal jargon, it doesn't. Contracting is about setting a clear objective, a tangible outcome, something that you can actually do with your client in the time frame of the session. So if you're coaching in 20 minutes, that means something that can be done in 20 minutes. If you're coaching in 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, or coaching a team for 4 hours or a full day session, it is something that can be accomplished, a tangible takeaway outcome, a deliverable that can happen within that time frame. When my team of trainers and I mark master and professional coaching assessments, we can often tell the difference between an average and an incredible master level coach with their ability to contract a coaching session. Even the leaders and managers that we coach and train that don't want to become professional coaches per se use contracting as a way to make meetings more focused and productive. So your first step is to actually excavate, draw out, clarify, and crystallize a tangible outcome that your clients or the team that you are coaching are happy to focus on. Contracts can include decisions, solutions, lists, strategies, plans, and even emotional states. A client may want to leave the session more motivated, more focused, more inspired. There are so many different kinds of contracts, and you need to be aware of what coaching contracts are and focus on using beautiful questions, open, softened questions to excavate your client's contract. One of the popular ways to draw out a contract in this first step 1 is to use the NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming method, called the as-if frame. This is where you get your client to imagine already being at their final goal, that dream aspiration, that place where they want to get to in the future. And with imagining that they're there, they can plan backwards or take steps backwards in time until the present day moment to consider what that first step is that they need to take in the session with you today. Another important methodology to include in step 1 is what's called evidence procedure. And it's really simple. It really means asking your client how they will know they're there. Now, you can evidence the goal. In other words, how will they know they get to that destination that they're looking for in the long term, where they want to be in perhaps 10 months or 2 years, etc. But what we really want is to evidence the contract. How will they know they have the motivation that they're looking for? Or how will they know they've made the decision that they're looking for? I actually remember once coaching a team of sales and marketing managers to simply come up with their evidence for how they would know that they had collectively reached a decision together. And this was extremely helpful for them to excavate and define. Once you've established that evidence, you can move on to an optional goal statement excavation. Now, if you've only got 20 minutes to coach, you may skip this process depending on how quickly things have gone so far. But a goal statement is about co-creating with your clients or your coachee that affirmation or that one-liner statement that's punchy in the present tense that inspires your client to take steps and to stay on track towards their ultimate beautiful goal that they're working towards. To really inspire your clients or your coachees to be engaged in the process of coaching and to do the work necessary to accomplish their dreams and their goals. We also want to include what we call deepened value excavation, which is very simply finding out from your client their reason to want their dream or their goal. It's their why. Why do you want this? Why is this important to you? That line of questioning is a critical part of step 1. So now you have a clear, tangible outcome, something to do in the session, whether it's create an action plan, make a decision, come up with ideas, overcome an inner obstacle, achieve some kind of emotional state for your client. Your client has now selected, they've chosen, they've defined what they want from the 20 minutes, the 60 minutes or more, whatever the time frame is of your session. What we do in step 2 is, of course, achieve the contract. This is about helping your clients through a partnership, using your coaching skills that you've acquired hopefully through a certification program to really hold a safe space so that your client does the inner work necessary to achieve that something that they've set out to do in the session. This is where I want to encourage you to go beyond what I call to-do list coaching. Not to say that there's anything wrong with to-do list, action plan based coaching. It can still be extremely valuable and has an important place in the world of coaching. But if you truly want to make an impact in someone's life, you want to go beyond to-do list, planning to plan, creating action lists to take action. Because isn't it true that if your client or coachee found it easy to get where they want to go, they wouldn't need a coach? The ICF International Coaching Federation defines one of the core competencies of a master coach as distinct from a professional coach or an associate entry-level coach as the ability to coach a client to awareness above solutions. What this means is that even though we absolutely help our clients to come up with solutions and practical action plans, etc., that the real transformational work is when our clients have a shift in awareness, where their perceptual models change, where they break through inner obstacles. In order to do this well in step 2, you want to balance your coaching session between what we call big picture thinking and small picture thinking. You want to start with that hot air balloon aerial view where your client can tap into their inspiration, where they can really find their deeper reasons for being on this journey. And from that aerial view, they might also discover obstacles. Later in the session, you want to land that hot air balloon and help them to roll up their sleeves and think about practical next steps. InnerLifeSkills coaches call this coaching well, or building an inner well for our clients. To really coach at master levels and to earn the privilege of changing lives, we want to help our clients to overcome their inner obstacles like fear, procrastination, self-doubt. And we want them to find and excavate and free their inner wealth, to find that crystal clear water waiting for them, their wisdom, their aha moments, their inspiration. And then we want to help them to draw on those inner resources so that they always have their inner well ready to empower and enlighten their lives. If you're wondering how you do this in step 2, I believe that it's absolutely essential to have what we call the Big 4 Freedom Toolbox. To not be a one-dimensional life coach with limited tools, but in fact to be able to dip in and out of life coaching, Enneagram coaching, executive coaching, and business coaching, and to have at least 20 to 50 or more processes. That way, you can spontaneously, intuitively, and creatively coach. You can respond to your client in that moment instead of coaching in a mechanical way. Once your client has achieved the very thing that they wanted to in the session, they have that motivation, or they've made the decision, or they have their solutions. Now we're going to spend the last few minutes of a coaching session wrapping up with next actions. In traditional coaching, this really means helping your clients to come up with what they're going to do, when they're going to do it, and so that when they leave the coaching session, they can go into massive inspired action. But if you're coaching at master levels, you're also going to be helping your client to anchor their new seeing and their new being into their way of life. This is because you've coached holistically. You've coached the whole person. You've used your intuition, and you have hopefully helped your client to build their own inner wisdom well. So that not only have you given them the gift of clarity and focus, decision making, but also they now know that they have inner wealth always within them, ready to draw on. If this work resonates with you and you want to take your natural coaching skills to the next level, to certification, confidence, and building a Big 4 freedom coaching toolbox, then talk to us about becoming an InnerLifeSkills trained master coach.